Good evening, everyone. It's Erica here from Me to You Paper Crafts. I'm a Canadian Stampin Up demonstrator on the west coast of Canada. Good evening, everyone. It's Erica here. I'd like to welcome you to my Facebook page where I love to show you how to create cards. Tonight is called Case the Catty. I do this every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And this is where I actually take a project from the catalog and I recreate it. I usually have all of the supplies for that card, but if I'm missing something, perhaps if I didn't purchase the ribbon or I didn't purchase the embellishments, then I will switch it up with something else. Sometimes I change the colors as well. And that's what casing is all about. Copy and share everything, or copy and selectively edit. So if you don't particularly like the colors used in that project, then you can switch them up for the colors that you do like. So that's where we are. And tonight I had promised to show you some projects that were made during a demonstrator event. It's mostly my team lead. She likes to host what's now becoming an annual retreat away in Souk. We rent this large house, and there were 12 of us there this year. And the main theme is to do a card buffet. So each demonstrator had to design a card and bring all the supplies necessary for each of us to make that project. Plus, on Friday night, we had a fun fold event. So the three main organizers, I'm one of those, we created a fun fold card for everybody to make as well. Plus, we had games, plus we had food, plus we had plus. It was just a great event. So tonight, I promised that I would show you some of those projects. Hi, Gina. Nice of you to join in. Haven't talked to you for a while. Hope everything's going well in Alberta. Have you got much snow? I don't think you do, but I might be wrong. It's hard to keep up with the weather these days. I hear that Nova Scotia, or the East Coast, has received yet another huge snowstorm. We had a few tiny itty bitty little flurries today. It lasted maybe half an hour and then it was gone, thank goodness. And it was cold here though today. Oh, you still have some snow. That's good. Hi, Carol. How are you doing tonight? All right, so I wanted to revisit this Hooray for Surprises. I think I did this either for I think I did a Case the Catty, or I may have done a Mojo Monday for this, where I did there's two kinds of hidden messages features. One is a circle, looks like a bubble, and the other one is a tear strip. So let me just share my desktop camera here so that you can see what I'm talking about. So here you go. So in here, this one shows a pop-off circle. So you literally pull and it rips off the top layer, and then you see the hidden message behind. This one is a tear strip. So you tear the strip open and then there's a hidden message underneath. Okay, so I wanted to attempt this one tonight and make this card. The reason I actually bought this whole stamp set was I fell in love with this little birthday cake here. I thought 3 birthday cakes in a row was just too precious. So I've tried to, it's not a very good clear picture, but I've tried to figure out what is going on in this card, and I think I have it figured out. There's multiple layers in order to make this card. So that's what we're going to make tonight. But I thought I would first start with showcasing some of the things that we made. So, Carol, I'm going to show the card that you actually made. This one. This was Carol's card. This is using the Cheerful Daisies stamp bundle. So it was a fun fold, a really cool fun fold card. Isn't that pretty? And she had a choice of different colors of the paper. So I chose the pink, and I'm quite happy with the way that turned out. So that was a great fun fold. Thank you so much. I'll have to reproduce these in some of my lives, I think. So that's that card. And then next up is Kathy did the Notes of Nature stamp set. This was kind of a large suite where you could purchase one or both of the stamp sets. And so this was a Case the Catty. but she did it up in different colors than the original in the catalog. So look how pretty that is. And I just love this sort of like you can make a notebook, actually, a field notebook for marking all of your flowers and herbs that you grow in your garden. And so you got this kind of 3-ring binder effect here. And then it comes with this beautiful copper or gold suede ribbon or string that you can run through there. So I thought it was very well done. And another thing to think about is here is a die cut. And so I die cut 4 of these stems and then just changed the height and glued them to the back of the card to make sort of like a textured background. So that worked out really, really well. That was a great card from Kathy. Okay. And then I have this one is from Laurel, and this is a retired stamp set, but she used it because it showed a great effect of doing what's called the faux tile technique. I did show this technique last year, I'm pretty sure. So basically you score lines in your cardstock and then you stamp over it. And so the stamp doesn't ink up inside those grout lines. So it makes kind of a faux tile effect. Very, very pretty, very effective. So that was from Laurel. Laurel also brought these fabulous oatmeal raisin cookies. They were to die for. Okay, and then Heather, one of the other organizers, Heather did this cute little cow. And we used a wobble. I'll show you what these wobbles look like. You can buy these on Amazon. So they are these little thingies. So it has a spring in the middle of it. You see that? There's a spring in there. I don't know if you can see that on camera. See the spring in there? So you glue one part. Actually, you don't glue. It has a rip-off adhesive piece to take off, and then you stick that to your card base, and then you stick the other element on top of that. So they're called wobbles. So those are lots of fun. Think of all the things that you could have wobble. But I thought the cow was really, really sweet. That was a fun card to make. We did a lot of stamping and sponging, or we used our blending brushes to create the grass and then stamped a little grass image. Just very, very pretty. So that was Heather's card. And then, let's see. And then Terry, she did this beautiful card with the, I should have written down all of the names of the stamp sets, but she did this card. So I've done this technique where it's a piece of designer series paper that just folds over there. Very cute. And then these little things, this is these thingies here, what are they called? Pearlized enamel effects. So you can make little dots, glossy dots, and then they kind of look like pearls. Very, very pretty card. So when we do these card buffets, we get a really good idea of different fun folds, different coloring. Okay, and then we have Cheryl. Cheryl did this card. I've done this. It's kind of a pinwheel fold. So it opens up, but there's this cute little pinwheel that you kind of tuck one part into another, and then you pull it open and it reveals a greeting on the inside. See that? So you basically fold it over like a box until you get to the last one, and then you tuck that piece underneath. That didn't work. Hang on. Fold over, fold over, fold over. And then fold over. Okay, I'm not doing it right now. I know you go in a circle. That one. Maybe put this one down first. This one. This one. Oh, I can't remember now. No, I'm not doing it right. I'll have to figure that out. I did it about 5 times. Now I can't do it. And it's because I'm on camera. So that was Cheryl's card. And then we have Crystal sadly couldn't make it to the event last minute, but this was her card. And this is using that brand new floral embossing folder, and we colored it. So you have to have a lot of patience to color it. You want to make sure that you don't end up coloring the background. But if you have lots of patience, and these were using the blends, the alcohol blends, but I think it turned out beautiful, and the texture is just amazing. And then she also embossed the envelope flap for us. Okay, and then we have Miran did this. Now I can't remember which was her fun fold and which was her make and take, but she did 2 cards, one for the buffet and one for, I think this one was for the buffet, and I made a boo-boo on this card. So this is using the wobble again. Look at that. Isn't that fun with that ship? Okay, and so we had one piece where we used our blending brushes to create the ocean, and then a stamp, and then we cut them into strips. Okay, and this is called a bay window card. Can you see where I made the mistake? It opens the wrong way. So this is great maybe for a left-handed person. So this piece just tucks underneath, but it's really supposed to be on this side. But I made a mistake. We had a lot of cards to make in a day. I think by the time I got to this one, I was a little on the tired side, but isn't that a cute card? I've made the bay window card quite a bit. I remember making a Christmas card, bay window card with a beautiful penguin. Okay. And then this was her other card. This is with that, this is in the annual catalog. It's a kind of a wheel that spins so that you get different, you stamp different either images or greetings. So happy Easter. Then you keep turning it and there's some carrots, and then you keep turning it and then there's some Easter eggs there. Okay, and then the bunny on here. So isn't that a cute card? And it also opens up. I forget what that was called, but that's in the annual catalog. You can look in the die section and you'll see it there. And then this is a card made. Trisha made this card. The colors are just stunning. This is the Softly Stippled Designer Series paper that comes free. You can earn it for free. And it was another fun fold. Beautiful card. Love that. That was Trisha. And then Sue had already purchased the brand new, not yet released for customers, but this coffee set. And we did this card. Comes with some great papers, but I created this whole background. She designed a background. So I stamped the rings and I stamped the coffee beans, and there's even a stamp that has these little coffee splatters in there. So much fun. It's going to be great. My set, along with another new set, these are online exclusives, I think are coming tomorrow. Can't wait to get into those. And then we had this card here. And this card is another fun fold. So you open, it's a Z fold. See that? You open it like that. It's got this Z in the middle. So that, and then when you put this piece on, you center it on the back piece. So that was lots of fun too. That was a great card. Okay, and then the last project was a card box. Check this out. Now, I've made a lot of card boxes and I've made a lot of bags like this, but what was unique to me was the way the ribbon was put on. So we put a bit of DSP down the center on both sides. And then I took my tear and tape and laid a piece of tear and tape along each side of the designer series paper. And then I put on the ribbon. So you end up with this kind of a handle. Isn't that cool? And then it also, the project also included the making of this card. Check this card out. And I've also shown you how to make this card. So you basically have a full card, but you cut off a portion, or you can just do this, cut this out. I think it was 5 by 5, 5.5 by 5.5. And then you scored it at 4 1/4. And then you put on this piece of DSP on here. But isn't that fun? This is a retired embossing folder. You know, when they come up with a new stamp set with new images that we've seen before, like we've seen bees before a number of times, it's so fun to pull out your old sets and then coordinate stuff. Any common theme that I see coming through the catalog, I usually keep those stamp sets so that I can coordinate in the future. So that was the card that we made with the bag. And then I just got busy like a bee. And I made, I'll just show you here, I made these several other ones. So this is a punch. Then I made this one, big fat bee flying to his hive. And then I made this one. I love this one, the black and the yellow. These were fun cards. But this box will fit at least 10 cards. Look how wide it is. It will fit at least 10 cards in here. And I've only got 4 in there. But look how much extra room. But you could do a set of cards, and then you could put maybe some chocolates in there, or another gift, a scarf, or any number of things you could put in there. It doesn't have to be all cards. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. And it's kind of relaxing. It was a whole day of crafting. We went from table to table and got to craft with lots of different ladies, and we ate lots and talked lots, and it was good fun. Hi, Christine is here, and I see Carol has joined us. And Shai is here all the way from Sydney, Australia. How are you? Hi, Jen. You just popped in. Nice to see you. All right, let's get making this card. Now, I've done most of the work simply because I knew I wanted to show you all those cards to you. So I've done most of the work, plus I had to figure out how it worked because I hadn't made one of these before. So we're going to make this card. Okay, now I've already stamped out. I wasn't crazy about this pale petal pink. I stamped it and I didn't like it. Maybe it's because my ink pad needs re-inking, but I decided to do the Coastal Cabana, Berry Burst, and Daffodil Delight. I just thought that came out a lot better. So you just stamp those out, and then there's a die to cut those out. Okay, this is the cake, and there's a die inside. Okay. Now, here is how the card comes together. So there's a card base on here, just a 4 1/4 by 5.5. I'm doing landscape on here. And then what I did, I worked out the measurements to create this layer. Okay. So this layer measures 5.5 by 4. Okay, so a typical layer for the card, 5.5 by 4. Okay, except that it goes from side to side in landscape. Okay, so instead of it being 4 by 5 1/4, it's 4 by 5.5. Excuse me. Okay, now how I got this is actually a really fun die from the Beautiful Balloons stamp bundle. It's this die here. So all it does is it cuts it cuts these little, I don't know what you want to call them. Just, it makes all these lines in the cardstock. So it doesn't cut the piece out. You just lay it on your cardstock and run it through your machine, and you get this kind of texture. It's kind of cool to feel it. So that's what I did for that piece. Just ran that through top and bottom. Okay. And what I did was I took this die and I tapped it right to the bottom. Okay. I also made sure that my cardstock went in between two of the lines, okay, before I cut it. So that's how I made that. If you don't have this set, you could easily run a wider ribbon, would look just as nice, and just tuck the ends in underneath. Okay, so now when you do these interactive pieces, you need to create a template. So first of all, I decided that the piece that I want my, see, I'm thinking balloons. I want my cake to be on. First of all, I wanted this piece to show my background here. So I cut this down so that I have that, I'm going to call them ridges. I have that ridged background here poking through. You could make this even more narrow because there's plenty of room for the cakes on here. If you wanted to see more of this, you could cut it down. And I might do that at the end. But to start with, I made this to be 3.5 by 5.5, right? Again, it's the full width of the card. So 3.5 by 5.5. So you could push that down to probably 3 inches. Now, the key to creating this is you have to create a template. The template is what's going to end up happening. I'm going to pull this piece out because I'm going to use that as a template on top of this layer. This is the layer for the actual card. I'm going to put this on top, and when I pull this top piece out, I can see where to place my greeting. Okay, so you create this template. So what you do is you cut, two pieces exactly the same size, okay? And I took some tape and wrapped it over so that these two pieces would stay together. That's really important. You want these two pieces to stay together. So I put two pieces together like this. And I wrapped some tape around it just to keep them together, okay? Then the first time I did this, I took the die, and this is what the die looks like in here. This is the die, okay? And the first time I positioned this on here, it was crooked. So what I did was I drew a line in pencil along the bottom, okay, so that I could line up the die. So I made sure my line was straight. So I used my grid sheet and my ruler, and I just put a line in there. And then I could line this up along that pencil mark to make sure that the die was going on there straight. And then you decide, do you want to tear it? If you're right-handed, you're going to tear it from the right, or left-handed, tear it from the left. So you just decide, which side you want the tear strip to go. So I put this on here. Again, I secured it with more of my purple tape, and then I ran both layers through the die cut machine. Okay, so that when it came out, I had these two pieces. So this is the piece for my card. Okay, this is going to go on my card. And this is now my template. Okay, so now what I can do is I'm going to rip this off from the template. And it will tear off better once it's glued down, of course. I'm taking this off. Okay, I'm going to use that now to position my greeting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these two together again. Like so. And I'm just going to glue this down to the table just so that it doesn't move. Okay, now there's one long skinny greeting and it says, "You are simply amazing." And now I have to decide what color I want. And I think I'm going to do the Berry Burst because it's the brightest color. So now I'm going to stamp this. I should have brought this closer to me. Now you're not really centering it. I'm centering it actually between, oh, I'm off camera now. Hang on. I'm centering this between this first circle and the last circle, not the tab. Actually, I'm doing something wrong here. Hang on a second. Yes, I'm doing this wrong. This greeting has to go on top of this one. Yes, you take the template and you're going to position it on here because you want to rip this off and then reveal the greeting on the card. Now, when I made this template, it's a little bit wide, but okay, bear with me. I think I'm going to cut this down a little bit. I'm going to cut this down because I'm too close to this ridge work down here. So I'm going to cut this down. I just knocked over a punch, sorry. I'm going to do 1/4 inch here. So 1/4 inch on here, and I'm going to knock down 1/4 inch on this one. All right, so I'm going to glue this piece onto my card. It's also a tiny bit wide. It never ceases to amaze me how you can cut 2 pieces of cardstock, what you think is the exact same measurement, and it doesn't line up. I'm sure that's happened to all of you. Okay, so I'm not going to put glue on these ridges here. I'm just going to put glue here. And I may have to trim this down because it's a little wide. Edge-to-edge cards can be a little tricky. Yeah, that needs a little trim on there. So I think I'm going to run it through my little mini trimmer here. Oh, let me cover up this ink pad before we have a boo-boo. And move this inked up greeting before I have another boo-boo. Okay. So I'm going to take this and just try and trim. There we go. Okay. All right, that's perfect. All right. All right, so now I'm using my template piece and I'm positioning this where this will go. Yeah, see, now that I've trimmed it down, I can see more of these ridges here. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up on there. Make sure it's straight. Okay, and then here, let's just re-ink my greeting. And I'm going to ink this. There we go. Okay. And this template, you could use this again, okay? So you could hang on to that. All right, so there's my greeting. Now I'm taking my original one that still has the tear strip intact, and I'm going to position this in here. Now, what I should have done, I'm just hoping this is positioned in the exact same spot. I can't cheat and peek and tear it apart. So, and I can't look through it. So here's a suggestion if you're going to make this card or something similar to this. Don't glue this layer onto the card base yet. Keep this piece, this ridged piece, independent so that when you lay this one on top, if you hold it up to the light, you will more than likely see the greeting underneath it. So then you'll know that it's positioned correctly. Otherwise, right now, it's guesswork. I think I'm going to be okay. All right, so I'm going to glue this on here. Okay. So because I have it positioned, I'm going to do this. Let's just do a little glue time. So see, when I do the prototype for you, you will know what not to do. So we've got that glued on there. And again, this needs another trim. You'd think when I cut to 5.5, it would be the same for everything. But it's not always the case. Okay. Now we have another little stamp and it says open here. So I'm going to stamp that on top so that your recipient knows where to pull. There is the word pull in here, if I remember correctly, from the other one. Yeah, so if you want to say pull rather than open here, you can do that. But there's open here. Now I can put my little birthday cakes on. Okay, now, first of all, I cut ahead of time. I cut these little flowers. There was only one die, so I had to take the time to do that. So I think I'm going to glue these onto the cake before. Let's bring out my silicone mat. Okay, so let me grab my tweezers. And let me just check the picture. So the pink cake is just going to have that there. Now, if you want to add some texture to this, if you still have your foam mat, this is kind of an old but true technique. Whenever you're doing flowers and you want to add a bit of texture, these are too small to use. Normally you can use your bone folder to curl the petals, but these are too tiny. So what you do is you grab a pen. Now I still have this old stylus, which unfortunately we don't sell anymore, but it's got this kind of an end on it. Now you can buy petal curlers. So here's an example of one. I bought a set of these when I was doing flowers years ago. And so this has a nice big round ball. Your stylus that comes with your scoreboard, those balls are not big enough. But this one I could do. So what you do is from the right side of the flower, you just push in, or you kind of make a little circle, and then it gives the flower some dimension. Like that. Okay. So now I can pick this up and add a bit of glue. So I'm going to do on the pink cake, it's at the top. So I'm just going to hold that in place. Now the blue cake has 3 of these on here. And they go on a diagonal, so they start down at the bottom. And then we've got one in the middle. And then we've got one closed top, upper right-hand corner. And then the yellow one just has one on it. Okay, and then I've got these pearls. These are really pretty because they're no, I keep saying phosphorescent. They're iridescent pearls, basic jewels. And I'm going to use these tiny ones. And I'm going to put these in the centers of all of the flowers. Look how pretty this is. I'm making this card specifically for, I have a birthday in mind coming up towards the end of February. So I thought this would be a lovely little card. Okay. So those are those pearls. All right, so now we can put these on our card. So we're going to put the pink cake in the middle like that. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. So I'm just going to guess where my center is. And now, should we know? The flower already kind of got some dimension in them. I think I might glue these flat. So if you want to measure out, you can. Excuse me. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it where the center of my card is. Excuse me. I've got something caught in my throat. I just love these little cakes. Oops, this one's a bit crooked. Okay. So there's your card. So I can't reveal the message inside, but basically you kind of lift this off and pull it, and there's the message inside. And then, of course, you could do a message inside as well. And I might do another row of cakes in here. But this turned out to be kind of nice. I like that little bit of decoration on there. So thanks so much for joining me. Oh, thanks, Carol. Yeah, that one was called Give It a Whirl. The one where you turn the wheel, the dies, or give it a whirl. Thanks, Carol. I do. I really like that card. I don't think it needs anything else. I could have done some Wink of Stella on there before I put the flowers on, but I think the color just gives the card the oomph. So I'm quite happy with that. So thanks, ladies, for joining. I hope you enjoyed all the cards that I demonstrated. I more than likely, I may do a little bit of a card slideshow on my feed just so that you can see them again and take some ideas from them. And I think I'm going to start showcasing some of those fun folds for you. Maybe we'll do those on my Mojo Monday. That would really get your mojo going, doing a fun fold on a Monday. I hope you saw my my blog post with a card. I did that yesterday. That was a fun card to make. And oh, there's one more thing I wanted to show you. So you see this large box that I showed you. I made a miniature version for some Ghirardelli chocolates. Let me go and get them and show you. They're so cute. So I made these little bags. Just a miniature shopping bag. So I did the same technique with just a little bit of designer series paper in the middle. Then I made this one. Aren't they cute? I think they're so cute. And in this one, I have 3, what are they called? Peppermint almond rokas. Got 3 of those in this one. And I've got 3 peppermint Ghirardelli squares in this one. So they fit quite a bit of chocolate in there. And I thought that was so cute. And I did both the back and the front. to those. But I just love that ribbon technique. So I thought I would make a miniature one. So there you go. There's my show and tell for tonight. So thanks again for joining and hope to see you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Oh, it's a long weekend. That's right. I think I'll come live. If you don't watch me live, don't worry about it. But I think I might come live on Monday morning. I have nothing else planned. We've got dinner on Saturday night and dinner on Sunday night. So I think I can come live on Monday. Unless Phil's got something planned. I don't know if we have anything else planned for the weekend, but there you go. So have a wonderful weekend and enjoy Family Day. Bye, everyone.